This is SevereMMA, and we're here at the higher level gym, the Dinky Ninja Fight Team, Scotland, and we're joined by Kieran Malone. And Kieran, you know, you've been fighting for a while. You're a young man, 18 fights underneath your belt, and it just doesn't seem that luck is going your way recently. Talk us through the last, few months. What's happened?
Well, I did actually joke on Facebook that they should change my nickname to the Hater, to the Cuss, or the Jinx. The luck I've been having recently, so it has not been a good kind of probably couple of years stretch luck-wise for fights anyway.
For saying that, for a guy who's sort of not been getting the fights he wants, your name is still touted around as one of the big prospects coming out of Scottish MMA. Talk us a little bit, again, for the people that don't know, talk a little bit for your background, because your wrestling background is unique as far as sort of a lot of British talent goes. Talk us through that and how you came to MMA.
Yeah, well, I started wrestling when I was 6, so that's kind of pretty young and unusual for British MMA fighters, as you say. I was like a multiple-time British champion through like every age group, represented Scotland and Britain kind of all around the world, done lots of training camps in Eastern Europe, but it kind of got to the point where get to like 17 and 18 where wrestling got a bit boring. It's not really a big scene. You can only compete like 3 or 4 times a year. It's not really got the funding to be successful, so I was a big MMA fan, so it kind of made sense to me to transition to MMA and give it a try. And obviously with the Dinky Ninja Fight Team and like the Grip House in Glasgow and high level being kind of on my footstep, made perfect sense to swap over.
The Dinky Ninja Fight Team, they have a reputation of being arguably the apex of the MMA teams in Scotland, and I would suggest north of Newcastle, it's tough to find a better team. Well, how did your involvement with them start? Did you just walk in? Did something recruit? How did it come together?
Well, basically I just messaged Paul McVeigh. He said to fire along. I think he was actually fighting an American wrestler coming up, so it kind of made sense. But like the first class I came into was a wrestling class, funny enough, just to get myself in slowly, and I ended up actually coaching the class. Like my first time walking the gym, Paul was like, "Do you want to coach?" I was like, "Hey, why not? May as well." And then just kind of all snowballed from there.
And you can still continue to coach at Grip House. Am I correct for doing the wrestling coaching from time to time?
Yeah, I do kind of most of the coaching for the fight team, so that's what my job is, and I'm not fighting, coaching wrestling.
Let's be selfish. What does the coaching, I ask fighters that coach this question quite often, but what does the coaching bring to you as a competitor, and what does it do for you as the athlete?
It's actually kind of put my technical game through the roof since I've started coaching, just because when you're coaching people you pick up on little things that they do, and then when you're teaching stuff, like you kind of get the details down on it yourself. So I actually think it's a good thing for me to coach most of the time, but on the run up to the fights I try and taper the coaching down, so like I'm not tiring myself out helping other people rather than getting the training in myself.
Yeah, and again, speaking of the fights, you said it's been disappointing. People have been pulling out of fights on the day of fight, and again, these are not just at sort of backyard promotions, good promotions. How do you keep positive when you can't get a chance to sort of trial your skill set in that competition?
I think it's good to have such a strong team around me to help with that. Like, we've always got guys fighting, so I always need to be in the gym helping them, even if I'm not fighting myself. Like, I had the fight cancelled at the weekend, but I'll be back in tonight helping people. But I think I've got that personality where I'm quite resilient anyway. Like, I've lost fights I shouldn't have lost, but I always kind of seem to bounce back, and then I always want to get better. Like, I know there'll be a kind of silver lining to also just need to keep driving on. With
Cage Warriors being dormant for a little while, and I know they sent a lot of sort of fights to the Dinky Ninjas. You were well represented. BAMMA is starting to really take off now. They're the big event in Dublin, then their Night of Champions, November 23rd. As a fighter of your caliber, surely a BAMMA contract is something that you're looking at.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I've actually been on BAMMA's case on social media trying to get them to get me fights, because it's getting to the point where I'm not really getting any kind of fights out there, and the fights I'm getting, people are pulling out on the day of the fight, people aren't making weight, people are kind of pulling out before they win. So whereas a big promotion like BAMMA, if you're fighting some of the guys on there, especially the lightweights, they're all good fighters, if you get a fight booked, they'll actually go through. So hopefully if someone from BAMMA's listening, maybe I can get picked up and actually get a fight to happen this time.
Well, you know, you're saying that the bantam lightweight division is stacked, and it is, right, from their Lonsdale sort of competitors up to their pro fighter, you know, the world champions. You know, guys like Andre Winter, Stapes, and then you've got the younger guys like Grant and McGann and Diakaze. You know, where do you think you rack up in that division? Are you the guy who should be sitting at the top? You just haven't had your chance yet?
I reckon given my chance I can beat all these guys, but I'd say maybe guys like Stapleton and Winner I'm a couple of fights away from, just because I'm still 24. I'm still getting better, but like I know like Diakaze and like Jack McGann and stuff, they're all quite young, similar ages to me. Like I don't see these guys being any better than me whatsoever, especially with some of the people we train with. Like we train with Stevie Ray, the best lightweight in the UK, Martin Delaney, one of the best lightweights. We've got guys like Graham Turner and Danny Henry at featherweight. We've got good welterweights, so like I train with the best guys, so I've got nothing to be scared of fighting any of these guys.
You know, I know Mark Diakaze's got the Lonsdale belt. Is that something you'd like adorning your waist?
See, to be honest, the belts don't matter. I just like to beat him. He's got a good record, kind of good stand in the UK. I've watched him fight. He's a good fighter. But as I say, I think I'm just as good as these guys and would like a chance to fight them.
and no one can blame you, especially with the run of luck you've got. Look, before we let you go, you know, we've spent some time at the Grip House today. We've been invited up by James to come and check at a higher level. But what does this team mean to you? And have you seen it grow over the last sort of the last 24 months? Because it seems to me that Scottish MMA is in the middle of a small explosion at the moment.
The team's kind of grown exponentially over the last kind of 18 to 24 months. I think James is saying that was us over, like we have 30 fighters just in this fight team alone, which is quite a lot. I don't think you've got many other fight teams outside like America with 30 fighters within the team, and quite a high proportion of the fighters are all professionals as well, and not even just pros, good level pros as well. So like you can see the team's growing. There'll probably be like 40 people in here training tonight for the classes, so like the only way is up, and it's getting busier as well. I think we'll need a new ship to try and fit everyone in soon.
and last question, what do you think the future is for Scottish MMA? How far, you know, how long do we have to be down the line before we perhaps have a first Scottish world champion?
It's hard to say, but I wouldn't say it's definitely in the near future. You're definitely looking at the next 2 to 3 years. We've got lots of young guys especially coming up, lots of kind of small dudes who are like 17, 18 right now, who are good for the future. Even though guys like Stevie are still young as well, so could be on the horizon.